Good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? It is Friday, September 25th, and this is your daily financial news. A couple of quick things before we get into the news of the day. First, if you'd like to have an hour of my time tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, live to ask questions about investing, real estate, what's going on, what do I think, all of those things, I'm going to need 125 thumbs up. If you could do me a favor and hit those thumbs up early in the video, that would be great. Graham Stephan always reminds us that that helps the YouTube algorithm. I still don't know what that is or does, but hey, he's got 1,000,002 followers, so hit the thumbs up. And again, if we get to 125 today by let's say 9 p.m., I will go ahead and give you an hour of my time on Saturday. I will go ahead and answer all of your questions. If you want to leave any questions to start tomorrow and we get to 125, leave them below. I will take a few to initiate the conversation and then interact with you throughout that hour. So I look forward to that. Second, I have a question that I will answer at the end and just see what's going on. So in 2020, there are two sectors of the market that are doing terrible. So realize we have company risk, sector, market risk. What two sectors are doing the worst? And bonus points if you could put them in order. What sector is doing the worst and what is doing second worst? I will answer that at the end. But again, if you want to pause this and leave your answer below, that would be really cool. If you're watching it live, sorry, can't pause it. Go ahead and leave the comments if you want. But first and foremost, what we are going to talk about is, I think it is pretty clear that if you live in states like New Jersey or New York or California, and you're in the middle class, be ready for your taxes to go up. This is not going to be advertised as middle class tax increases, but that is what is coming. This came to me today because New Jersey just passed a millionaire's tax, basically raising it a couple of percent. We talked about it a few weeks ago. But I did some research, and wealth tax, taxing millionaires, has been done before. I do not know why our politicians don't do simple Google searches. But you can go back and look at this for yourself. France, obviously the country in Europe, has tried this behavior a couple of different ways. First and foremost, they did a tax of 75% on all income above €1,000,000. They planned for that tax to produce hundreds of millions of dollars in tax proceeds, and they were significantly disappointed. Can you guess why they were disappointed? Well, it turns out when you tax the millionaires who have financial flexibility, they just move. So that was the first thing that France tried. They tried that in 2012, 75% tax on everything over $1,000,000 because, of course, we got to tax success. Then again, they went after also taxing wealth. They tried again to go after wealth instead of income, pretty much with the same behavior. France lost 10,000 wealthy people the first year this wealth tax was put out. So again, the reason I bring this up is if we had a national COVID tax, for example, that you wouldn't have a choice. No matter where you lived, if you paid 1% for the next 4 or 5 years, everybody would do that. But if you tax like New Jersey does this, or New York does that, or California does this, or worse, San Francisco does this, you are going to see the people with financial means leave. The other thing we are starting to see is nastiness. And anytime somebody comes after you and doesn't like you because of something, your immediate reaction is to run away from that, right? So we have to realize what's going on. Yes, New York has a $15 billion shortfall. There are lots of things going on, but you can't simply putting out a tax on the rich isn't going to get what you want because France has tried it and they were disappointed. And guess what will happen? You and I, the middle class, who doesn't have the financial means to move, are going to get punched. Our taxes are going to go up. Our services are going to go down. They're going to hurt us. So just realize when people come out and try to sell the idea of taxing the rich, what is going to happen? Again, if it's national, you know, that's okay. But if it's local, you're just asking people to leave, right? Does New York or New Jersey really need people leaving? Does California really need more people leaving? It seems kind of weird to me. Again, if you have questions, I saw a question pop up here. Do me a favor, leave it in the comments after this video because I don't take notes on what they are. And I thought that was a pretty good question about making the jump to commercial. Next up, we got Costco. Costco came out, beat top and bottom line. Wasn't good enough for the analysts. But basically, near as I can tell, they're upset with how much Costco spends on cleaning, right? They have, I think it was $320 million on cleaning. So they, analysts always want more. Same store sales were up 11.4%, and online, this is something we are hearing more and more from retailers, we're up 91%. Next up, we got Redfin and Zillow being upgraded because of this relocation that we are seeing going on now. This is a clear indication that transactions will be going up. People will be, I think, leaving rentership in the big cities and becoming owners. As I shared yesterday in my talk about 2025, I believe homeownership goes up, and we'll see. I think homeownership is a good thing. Big talk of the day is it looks like Nancy Pelosi and the House are hopefully putting the finishing touches on a $2.4 trillion stimulus package. Near as I can tell, it does not include stimulus for the states, which has already been a clear red line. We haven't seen amounts, but we know unemployment benefits are in there, individual checks are in there, small business loans are in there, funds for airlines, not too happy about that, and funds for restaurants. Again, man, the airlines one really bother me at this point, as I've talked about, but I still think we need something to get us to the end of the year. We are going into colder weather, and I'm a little, I'll admit, I'm a little concerned that what we see in Europe, specifically the UK and Spain, might come our way, and we better have stimulus if that happens. So again, interesting. A couple of things. Again, commercial segment I've been watching, and again, New York is a particular pain point. What I see happening is New York's community bank, again, very focused on New York City. 60% of their loan portfolio is backed by commercial properties in New York City. That's not good. Their total commercial portfolio is $39 billion. The problem with, again, this is New York Community Bank, is their loan loss reserve is only $155 million, basically 159, which is a 0.4% coverage. That's not enough. That's not enough. You are either going to be doing ridiculous extend and pretends, or you are going to be in trouble. Just by comparison, Wells Fargo is much bigger than New York Community Bank, but their loan loss reserves is 2%. Right? New York Community Bank, again, very focused New York City, probably the epicenter of pain. Wells Fargo, diverse portfolio. And again, Wells Fargo's loan loss reserves is 2%. New York Community Bank, 0.4. I'm guessing that bank's in trouble. Again, not an analyst, but again, just looking based on experience, based on their book, that could be an issue. Another thing is we've seen commodities take a hit. How about silver? There's been a lot of talk about silver and gold probably 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. It's down 20%. Who saw that coming? Right? What's going on? Are people selling and raising cash because they see a problem? Are they selling silver because they're on margin because they got smacked by the tech route? What's going on? but I thought that was interesting. And then one article I read that just made me scratch my head is you can look at, again, I don't know if this is causal or coincidence, but it is at least worth thinking about. So if you were to ask yourselves what two states, actually three states, took the hardest line on COVID response, what would they be? Well, I think you and I would get California and New York pretty easy. The third is Hawaii. Hawaii has also had a very hard response. We may not think of it because it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. But the three states, arguably with the hardest reaction, most lockdown, most pain, is New York, Hawaii, and California. And it is hard to believe that the unemployment rates for those three states are all over 12%. New York, Hawaii, and California have the highest unemployment rate. Now let's flip the script and think about what states had the most lax response. Well, you got to throw Georgia in there, right? Remember Georgia way back in like May? We were talking about Georgia being the first state to unlock. Remember that? They have the lowest unemployment in the country, 5.6%. Another state that often was made fun of because of their governor's lack of taking it serious, Arizona, 5.9% unemployment. How about Texas? They get picked on all the time. Unemployment's at 6.8%. So obviously there's not a direct like hard line connection between these, but there's something there, I have to say. Again, I think California, Hawaii, and New York crushed their service sector. Crushed it. Crushed it. The governors of those three states caused double-digit unemployment without question. Without question. Georgia, Arizona, Texas, different response, different outcome. I don't know. There's something there. And, I'm living in the state of California, and our governor keeps making the same mistakes. And if he's not careful, we are going to have some real problems here. So at the end of the day, remember, we need what did we say? Did I say 125? I think I did. 125 likes. We got 9 as of this live stream. So a long way to go. 116 more to go. If I get 125 by 9 p.m. tonight, we will, of course, do a live session. I hope you enjoy the live sessions. I really do. And then here's the answer to the question. Remember early on I said, what two sectors have performed worse this year in 2020? Number one is energy. Man, remember when oil was negative $40 or negative 37 that one day? That's pretty bad. And number two is financials, and specifically the banks. There's a lot of bad debt. There's a lot of thought about the bad debt not being reserved enough. I think Citi is trading at 69% of book value. We're talking 07, 08 levels. That's not good. We have the Fed coming in and doing another stress test. Could we see dividends cut by the banks? Yes, we could. I've been telling you, 2020's got more pain to give. And then lastly, that article about New York being in a depression while Texas is booming, which was the source of my 3 stats on unemployment, is really telling. California, New York, and Hawaii, your governors killed the services industry, thus creating unemployment. Arizona, Texas, and Georgia, you took a different approach, and your unemployment is more than half below these other states. So use that data how you will. I have a couple of interviews. I'm being interviewed at 8 o'clock, and then I have an interview at 9 o'clock talking about out-of-state investing. I get lots of questions about this, so I'm going to ask somebody who does that a lot for his 5 keys on out-of-state investing. So look forward to that. Take care, everyone. Bye.